Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Apologies if I'm a bit croaky today. I've got a bit of a cold, so it's making me quite hard to speak, but I'm still going to make these videos. I'm still going to plow on, so I'm going to try my best, but let me know if you can't hear me and I'll redo the video. So today we're going to be looking at the RedMagic 10 Pro, which is, as you all know, is a gaming phone, which is competing with Asus's ROG phones for the mobile gamers out there who know all about this, and it's something I've learned a lot about the past couple of weeks and had a lot of look into. So quite a few people mentioned in comments they're looking at the RedMagic 10 Pro for its good value pricing and also its high performance specifications. So I thought I'd pick one up, try it out, let you all know my thoughts on it. So this review is going to be a detailed review about the phone. I've had it for a week now, so I've used it as my daily phone for a week, and I absolutely love it. So let's get into this. And there are some upsides and there are some downsides, as there is to every single device. So let's get into the review and tell you, is this the best gaming phone, and can it compete with Asus's line of ROG phones, which are double the price? So I've put the unboxing video online. I really enjoyed this unboxing because the box was super futuristic. It had like a nice silver finish to it. It had the RedMagic logo. I love the box. I thought it was really well packaged. And then you get the phone out. This is called the light speed color, but it comes in a see-through color as well, so it looks great. And it has the cameras sort of flush into the phone. So I really enjoyed the unboxing, and you get so much in the box for your money. So 579 I paid for this phone, which is the bottom of the range model. You get an 80-watt charger, you get a USB-C cable, you get a case. Literally, I'm just blown away by what you get with this phone for the price. You think about an iPhone or a Samsung S24, S25, you get nothing with that phone. Look, I've got an S24 box here with the Samsung. You see how small it is. With the Asus, with the RedMagic 10 Pro box, it was quite big, but you got so much stuff in it. And it's really nice to see manufacturers including things like that, or at least giving you an option to have it. And they even sent me an adapter because it was a European plug to use in the UK, so everything's thought through. They'd be really good to deal with as a company. Really enjoyed the unboxing experience. It was one of the best ones I've had in a while, because I know unboxing can be a bit dull these days with phones, but this one was super special. I really enjoyed it. So, um, we'll just talk about pricing quickly because I mentioned it. So I paid 579 for this phone. So this is the bottom of the range model. So it's got, I say bottom range, it's got a Snapdragon 8 Elite chip in it, and it's got 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage, which is plenty, I think, for most people. I've had no problems with this phone. They do it in several different options and loads of different colors. So you can go right up to 24 gigs of RAM with a terabyte of storage, and that tops out about £800. It's still good value phone. But the features on all of these phones are exactly the same. It's just based on the storage pricing and the color you want. So price wise, it doesn't matter about that you do get the same display, the same cameras, everything. So it's just about what storage you need. I think if you're a heavy gamer, somewhere in the middle is probably about right. 512 with 16 gigs probably about right. So I've played a variety of different games on this phone. I've tried Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves. I've run them for hours, and the phone just plows through them all really well. So I've had no problems with the 12 gigabyte model at all. So if you're on a budget, this is absolutely fine to use. And it's it's a great phone, and it feels really well made as well. So don't be frightened to look at the base model, because I think it's really good. So this is obviously competing with the Asus ROG lineup, which is their Republic of Gaming lineup. As some people who don't know, I'm assuming you do, but most people might not know that. So I've not tried one of their phones yet because they are really expensive. So they're about £1,300. They do come with quite a lot of RAM and storage as standard, and other features, probably better cameras. But this is half the price, more than half the price of that phone, and it's got some really cool features on it. And I think it's a great phone. So we'll get into the design and build quality on this now, and talk about why I thought the design and build quality was extra special and really nice. So I love the design of this phone. So it's unapologetically bold and brave, is what I describe it as, and it's unique. So it has a lovely sort of matte glass back, and the cameras are sort of recessed into there, which I really like. 'Cause it's not a nice one to have a huge camera bump. It's got a lovely aluminium sides to it, and the screen is it's like a box design, which I actually quite like. So it's nice to not have a curved screen, because I'm not a fan of curved screens. So holding this in your hand, yeah, it's a big screen. It's a 6.89-inch screen, so it's a really big. It's iPhone 16 Pro Max size, but the screen is lovely. It's a really nice. I've had you can't using 100 is quite hard, I will admit. But for me, I just enjoyed using the phone every day. I just found it really nice to use. I thought the design was really nice. It feels really premium, much more premium than the price would suggest. And I think, a gaming phone should be unapologetically bold and out there. So RedMagic have done it. And if you get the see-through model, that's even more out there. So a lot of people are saying they wouldn't want to go outside with this phone, but I love it. I love taking it out and about and people asking me about it and showing it. I just think it's just nice to have a phone that's different to other phones, because phones are becoming so boring. I've got the S24 here, Samsung one. It's just a really dull design compared to this phone, the RedMagic 10 Pro. So I just love that RedMagic have gone into this and put some lights in it, a fan, and made it a bit different. I think it's nice just to have something a bit different, and the design reflects that. So really enjoyed using it as a daily phone with the design. So let's talk about the display now, because the display is obviously really important if you're choosing a gaming phone, and this does not disappoint. Honestly, it blew me away, the display on it. So it's a nearly 6.9 inch full HD AM OLED display. It's got a really high resolution on it. I've got a whopping 144 hertz refresh rate, which is huge. And you can turn that down if you want to save battery, but the battery is huge as well. So we'll talk about that later on. But the phone automatically adjusts itself, and the refresh rate is really, really good. You notice it when you go scrolling around the phone. It feels really quick. It feels faster than iPhone, faster than Samsung. So it's nice to have that super fast refresh rate even for daily use. But in gaming, it really makes a difference. And there's buttery smooth, the screen in gaming. Obviously, it's the best phone I've used as a gaming phone. I've not tried with a gaming phone, so that's probably why. But this is honestly, to play games on with that lovely big screen is really nice. And also HDR content looks great as well. So if you're watching HDR movies, it looks really, really nice. So I put 4K HDR films on this, and they look stunning, like much better than an iPhone, much better than the Samsung S24 in my opinion. It just looks really, really nice to watch, and it's really nice to hold. And you've got the huge battery to keep it going. So the display, in my opinion, is good. It's only 2000 nits peak brightness, so it's half the nit rating of sort of the Pixel lineup or the OnePlus 13. But they all have great screens as well. But so the nit rating is a bit lower, but I didn't have any problems using it outside, especially if you look at the price point, 579. So this screen really, really does hit the nail on the head for the price point, in my opinion, and punches way above its weight in terms of its price in a lot of ways with the screen. So we've gone over the screen. Let's look at performance, because obviously that's the most important thing for a gaming-centric phone. So under the hood of this is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite, which is the Snapdragon's latest CPU. It powers the OnePlus 13, the Samsung S25. It's in all the biggest flagship phones now, which are over £1,000 or just under £1,000. This thing is 579. So they've managed to squeeze a really powerful chip into a phone that costs half the price of main flagships, and they've done that with obviously some areas they've had to cut back on it. The screen and the processor is not one area; they are fantastic. So you can spec it up to 24 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte of hard drive space. But as I say, the middle ground's probably right somewhere, and the base model is really good. I had no problems with running games on this every day. I loved using it as a gaming phone. So it's got a fan in it, so you can turn the fan on and off in the settings, which I'll show you how to do. And it comes on here. The fan is just here, if you can see it. So it makes like it's not even that loud, to be honest. And it comes on when it's doing fast charging as well. So it charges at about 100 up to 100 watts, which is really fast. So there's no wireless charging. So this is where we start to think things have cut out because of the price points. You've got no wireless charging. To me, it doesn't really matter. I don't really use wireless charging that much these days anyway, especially when you've got wired charging at 100 watts. That's 5 or 6 times faster than an iPhone or even a Galaxy S25. So it charges really, really quick. And it does get a bit warm when charging, but the fan does keep it cool. So I even tried doing Premiere Rush on this video editing, and the GPU kept on, did 4K editing, no problem, exported it really quickly. So just because you've got that much power in a phone doesn't mean it's just for gaming. Anything like mobile intensive apps like video editing or gaming, and if you want to do any of those, or it just runs really, really well. So it's not just for gaming; it's for anything like that. So the major downside in the design is because you've got this fan vent here, is that the phone isn't fully waterproof. So it's really rated really low. I think it's IP65, which is the last Pro Magic wasn't rated IP at all. So this is a bit of an improvement, but I wouldn't get this thing wet. It really is just splash proof, if at the most, because that fan will let the water drain and it will be destroyed basically. So don't get this anywhere near water. So this is where you start to see things have been cut out. So waterproofing, wireless charging, things have started to get cut down from this phone to make it that price point. But if you're not bothered about that, it doesn't really matter. And that's not the selling point of the phone. So I wouldn't see that as necessarily a downside to it. It's just something to point out if you're looking at the phone that you don't get that. So one thing I really liked about the performance on the 5G side of things, so RedMagic boasts about they put antennas all over this phone to give you excellent 5G reception. And I was actually, so there's a dead spot out near my house, which other phones I always lose signal at. I always lose call connection, etc. And I was out with this and talking to someone, and I suddenly realised I hadn't dropped signal. I still had nearly 3 or 4 bars. So this thing actually picks up more 5G signal than any other phone I've tried. So I can guarantee I've tried it out, it works, that the extra antennas make a big difference. And I was able to hold the call much longer and data still kept going on the phone. So if you're out in a intense gaming session outside, it will hold the 5G better. And the latency is meant to be lower as well, so it's meant to be really good for 5G. So it worked for me. I had no problems gaming over 5G on this phone. It was really, really good. So big shout out to RedMagic there for putting a good 5G modem in this. So let's talk about the gaming features on this phone, because it's the most highlight of the phone, obviously. So you've got the fan to keep it cool. You've also got some really, really interesting. They put some like touch pads on top of these, which are glass coated and super high responsiveness. So you can use them in Call of Duties like triggers, and you can customize them how you want, and it shows you when you're pressing them. And they're just like they're touch sensitive, but they don't feel like you're pressing a button. So it's like a controller. So it turns the phone into like. So it'll give you the advantage in a game like Call of Duty, because you can use it as a trigger when other people are using their fingers on the screen, so you can get people faster basically on the phone, and it works. Like I tried it out, it works really well. So that's another good feature about the phone. I don't think the Asus ROG has this. It's really nice. And also one thing the Asus ROG phone doesn't have is that you have to put an external cooling system on it. This has got a built-in fan, so it's nice to have. Obviously, you'll use the IP rating, so it's a bit of swings and roundabouts, but you need to decide which one is most important for you, obviously. So on the side here, there's a red button here. So if you flick that, it turns it into gaming mode. So that the screen will change. It'll come on and show you all the gaming features. It'll ask you which game you want to play. It'll clean up the RAM and the memory and turn the phone into optimum mode for gaming. So that's a really nice feature. And it'll stop notifications coming through, so you'll not disturb your gaming sessions. So it's really nice to see RedMagic putting that feature in the phone for mobile gamers. So the game space mode, performance settings, customized, all the controls are all customizable. Everything's really customizable. I actually quite liked RedMagic 10, the software operating system on this. A lot of reviewers said it's full of bloatware, and I don't think it has too much bloatware on it. Yes, it's got a quirky design, it's got some quirky wallpapers on it, but I like that about the phone. This phone is meant to be quirky, it's meant to be out there, it's meant to be look like a different phone, and it does. And I love that RedMagic have done that to this phone. This is a big plus point for me on this phone, is that it's different, and the software reflects that. But it's just about the right side of different. So actually, it's a really nice version of Android to use. I have no problems using it. I could find my way around it straight away. Very familiar. I've been playing around with S24 Ultra recently because I've never really delved into Samsung much before. I don't really like the Samsung operating system that much at the moment, which is a big thing to say. But I'm really enjoying using this version of Android on the RedMagic. I think it's really well implemented and it works really well, and it's really quick, buttery smooth, fast. So no problems with it at all. So now I've gone over the sort of gaming features on it, and it's very gaming centric, but also it's even just on the right side, so you can use it as your main phone daily, which is good. Let's talk about the camera. Let's talk about the camera, because the camera is the main downside of this phone. So somewhere 579, as I mentioned, you've got to cut somewhere that to get to that point. So you've got a elite CPU in it. You're gonna have to cut the cameras. So the one thing that is nice about it, you don't get a camera bump. The main focus problem with that is the cameras aren't as good. So what have you got then? So you've got 3 cameras on the back. So there's 2 cameras here and then a macro lens here. So the 2 50 megapixel cameras. So there's an ultra wide 50 and then a wide 50, and then there's a macro lens which is 2 megapixel. And low light performance just isn't very good on the phones. I found it doesn't really compete with the big flagship phones, but it's fine. Like the phone costs half the price, so do you expect it? You don't buy it as a camera phone. It does actually film up to 8K, which is amazing. And the RedMagic 9 also did this. And the 8K video isn't actually that bad. So the video performance is better than the photo performance. I'll show you some samples anyway, like make your own decision. But I was not impressed by the camera. So it's partly because I love mobile photography, so I wouldn't use this as my daily phone for the camera, because it really, really doesn't add up to much. But it's fine if you just want to take occasional pictures and you're out and about somewhere and you're not that fussed about the camera, then it doesn't matter. So but it will work, it will do a job, and it will give you a decent resolution image you can print off. It just won't be the best quality. Outside in high light, it was fine. It was just a low light that let it down for me. I'll show you some shots and see what I mean, the noise on the pictures. And it does have portrait mode. It has lots of features on it, like portrait AI. And the portrait mode was fine, actually. I took some pictures of my kids in portrait mode, and actually the image quality wasn't too bad on the portrait side of things. So I'll show you some shots on that and the video performance. It does do 4K HDR. It's got all the main flagship features on it. It just doesn't do them as well as £1,000 phone, and it's half the price. So that's what you expect. I think if you look at things like the OnePlus 13R and the Magic 7 Lite, which is getting down towards its price point, they're all better cameras. So if you want a camera side of things with the fast CPUs, look at those phones over this. And also you've got the Asus ROG phone, which I've heard has got really good cameras, but I've not tried it out yet. It's also got an under-screen camera, so that's one thing I loved about this phone, because I hate having that notch where the camera is, and you really get used to it having it. But this has got an under-screen camera, which is a 16 megapixel front-facing camera, and it does the job. It's fine. It's not the best camera in the world. It doesn't take the best selfies, but as a video call camera, it's fine. Like, it does the job. I didn't mind it too much. It's not very good for vlogging, so as a creator's phone, I wouldn't say it's very good for that, because the camera system is not great, but it actually has the power to be a creator's phone, but the camera system lets it down. So I think if they just up the cameras a little bit next time, it would be the ultimate phone. Even if for £100 more, I'd probably pay to get a little bit better camera system on it, simply because the rest of the phone is fantastic, and I love the phone. Like, I really enjoyed using it. So battery. So battery life now, let's move on to that, because that's really important for a gaming phone. So massive 7,000 milliamp battery in this, so this will keep the phone going for 2 days. I found 100-watt charging, so you've got high-speed charging, massive batteries. If you don't game on this phone and you just use it as a normal work phone for 2 or 3 days, it will probably get 3, maybe even 4 days use out of it before it dies. I was on like 70% at the end of one day. It's like amazingly long battery. So it's quite a heavy phone. That's probably why, but no more heavy than an iPhone 16 Pro Max in use. So it's fine. So the battery life for me was the highlight of this phone, and it will keep you going through the longest gaming sessions. And you can even also turn the charging off, so you can just have it on powered mode, so you can just plug it in and use it without charging the battery to keep the heat down for gaming. So it's got all sorts of unique features like that, which are really useful, and I liked about that. So we've touched on the software. So we've just said that it runs Magic 10 OS, which I really liked, and it wasn't full of bloatware, so I've got no problems with the software at all, and I really enjoyed it. I'll show you some shots of the software on it, and it was great for my find. So nothing to say bad about the software on this at all, which other reviewers have, but I haven't, so I really liked it. So let's wrap this up then. So is the RedMagic 10 Pro the ultimate gaming phone? And I think in many ways it is. It is a great phone, like, especially for gaming-centric design. It's got top-of-the-line performance. It's got a stunning display. It's got a host of gaming features that make it a joy to use for mobile gaming. So, what more do you need? It's not perfect. Yes, the cameras aren't up there with the best. Then the price is $579, so something has to give. It doesn't have wireless charging, but who really cares? And some people might be a bit fussy about the design, but I love the design of this phone. I think it's unapologetically out there and outlandish, which a gaming phone should be, and I hope people agree. So please drop me a comment down below if you agree with me or don't agree. Just get into discussion about this. I want to know what people think about this phone, because I've really enjoyed using it. And are you thinking about picking one up yourself? So let me know. And if you want to know anything about the features on it that were not covered in this review, I can happy to talk about it down below. So just drop me a line, let me know. So thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the review, please give me a thumbs up and a subscribe as normal. And I will see you next time. So thank you very much.